Good morning. It's Thursday, April 9th. Here's what we're working on. GO train service to and from St. Catharines and Niagara Falls resumes this morning after a freight train derailment more than a week ago.
An investigation is underway after a body was found at Hamilton's waterfront.
Here come the Capitals. A pass across, score! Dylan Strome from Anthony Beauvillier. And it's the Capitals who strike first.
And the Maple Leafs lose to the Capitals and 3 of their players. Good morning. A cool start to the day. A gorgeous day yesterday with lots of sunshine and more on the way today.
Yes, we're going to have some sunshine for the day today, but we could get some April showers a little later on.
That would be okay because it's also going to be warmer.
Yeah. Exactly. The temperature today, woohoo! Yes, we're going to climb to 18 degrees today. Yeah, so it'll be a nice mild day. Actually, the temperatures have really gone up. Now, the temperature did dip into the minus column last night around midnight, wind chill -5, but then the temperatures have steadily gone up throughout the overnight. So we're sitting at 6 degrees right now, +6 to start the morning here. So the milder push of air is already happening, all the way to 18 for the day today. But this afternoon, the cold front will go through. That's going to drop our temperatures, and that's what could trigger off the showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. And then tomorrow, still not a bad day as far as temperatures are concerned. Right around seasonal, we'll be at around 9 degrees, but it'll be a fair bit cooler. So we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. Right now, a quick check on traffic, and we'll show you our exclusive camera. That's all we've got this morning, and that's looking pretty good right now. So nothing to see either going into Hamilton away from us or coming out of Hamilton toward Burlington towards us. So not a lot happening on the roads this morning, but we'll continue to monitor that. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Police are investigating a death on Hamilton's waterfront. A woman's body was found in the water yesterday afternoon near the end of Discovery Drive. Her identity has not been released, and the circumstances surrounding her death are under investigation. Hamilton police tell us this morning that they don't suspect foul play, but they're waiting for a post-mortem exam today to rule that out.
Hamilton police arresting 1 youth, and they're looking for 2 other suspects following a robbery involving a BB gun. Police say it happened Tuesday around 3 p.m. in the area of John Street North and Barton Street East. 3 male youths confronted the victim and demanded he hand over his jacket. One of the suspects then pulled a black firearm from a satchel. The victim handed over his jacket, and the suspects fled the area. Police quickly located one suspect and recovered the jacket and a BB gun. That suspect's been charged with armed robbery.
The OPP are looking for answers after a deadly crash late last year in St. Catharines. An 18-year-old woman was thrown from a vehicle after a rollover on Highway 6 near 3rd Avenue, Highway 406 rather, near 3rd Avenue. This happened around 8:30 at night on December 3rd of last year. Police say the woman was hit by at least 2 vehicles. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt says one of those drivers may not have realized what's happened.
We're appealing for anyone who is traveling in this area around 8:30 on Wednesday night, December 3rd, that may have struck something, may not have known what they struck, saw something in the ditch, may have seen some activity in the area.
If you may have been one of those drivers, you're asked to contact Niagara OPP.
Good news for commuters in the Niagara region. GO train service to and from St. Catharines and Niagara Falls resumes this morning after a freight train derailment more than a week ago. Simone Gavros joins us live at the St. Catharines GO station with all the details. Good morning, Simone.
Good morning, Rick. Metrolinx is also just warning commuters this morning that there might be some delays with trains today, about a 5 to 10 minute delay as they are going to get trains moving again after the pause that's been for almost 10 days now. The first train from St. Catharines is supposed to leave headed towards Union Station around 7:02. So I'm going to be talking to some commuters this morning just to get more reaction about what the last couple of weeks, or rather week, has been like without that train service and only relying on buses. Now, train service here was suspended suspended between Confederation Go and Niagara Falls Go on March 30th after several CN Railway cars derailed in St. Catharines, east of Glendale Avenue near Keele Street. At the time of the incident, CN said that polyethanol spilled from one of the rail cars, but there were no reports of fires and there were no threat to public safety. The cause still hadn't been released by the Transportation Safety Board, who is leading the investigation. Commuters had the option to take Route 12 Go buses that were running between Niagara Falls and Burlington Go, but space there was limited. Now, we also know that shipping along the Welland Canal resumed on Tuesday, and that was after the repairs were made by CN. Of course, that was part of the issues where those rail cars were stuck on the tracks because of that derailment. So again, I'll be talking to some commuters this morning coming up to hear more about what the last week has been like. Rick, back over to you.
Thank you, Simone. Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberals are a step closer to a majority government with yet another Conservative MP crossing the floor. This time, it's Ontario MP Marilyn Gladu. Gladu says her constituents want serious leadership and a real plan to build a stronger and more independent Canadian economy, while Prime Minister Mark Carney praised her experience. Meanwhile, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says Carney is seizing a costly Liberal majority that voters denied him and doing so through backroom deals. This floor crossing is a surprise to some due to Gladu's previous political positions.
Marilyn Gladu was not considered a red Tory in any way, shape, or form. She was a small seed Conservative MP. She was opposed to the government's vaccine mandate. She was opposed to the ban on conversion therapy. She condemned the Liberal government for seizing people's bank accounts during the trucker protest in Ottawa. And she also said that people who cross the floors should hold a by-election. She's not doing that.
Liberals are poised to secure a majority with 3 upcoming by-elections on Monday. If they win even one of the 3 seats up for grabs, it would allow the Liberals to pass legislation without needing to rely on other parties to support them.
Federal Conservatives want the Liberal government to suspend fuel taxes. The call comes as the conflict in the Middle East sent gas prices soaring. The Conservatives say the government is raking in more revenue from higher gas prices and that some of that extra revenue should go back to Canadians through a price break at the pumps. Earlier this week, Prime Minister Mark Carney had announced he is looking at ways to cushion the blow of higher gas prices. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen was praised by the Prime Minister during a call with the Artemis II crew last night. Mark Carney talked with Hansen about the importance of taking risks.
Mission Control had to decide that, it was risk and it was good to go, and everyone signed off. So you're taking risks for a good reason. And I just wonder, maybe expand on that a bit. You've got lots of young people watching and inspired, and, the challenge that there is, and it's a positive challenge for this generation.
We do think risk is necessary, but calculated risk, well thought out risk, and risk that you balance with others. And so for youth that are making those decisions, do it in collaboration with others. People will point out when you're out over your skis, and so you have to be smart about how you take risks. But as a country, we have to be willing to have some failures, and we fail in this space program, but we assure ourselves we're not going to stay or rest in those failures. We're going to push through them. And so as you've been leading our country, we know we have to do some things. We have some work to do. We have to be willing to have some failures and be okay with that, but ultimately knowing that we're just going to persist and win in the final calculation.
And students from across the country also had a chance to ask Jeremy Hansen some questions.
How does seeing Earth from space change your view on life?
It was really unique to see it from the far side of the moon, to look through the moon and see this 3-dimensional moon out in front of you, and just so oddly, this enormous sphere hanging in space. And we were on the far side of it looking back and seeing planet Earth, and then watching planet Earth disappear. We saw the Earth set behind the moon, and then we waited a little while, we lost contact with Earth, and then to see the Earth rise again and to be able to talk to Jenny back in Mission Control. That is an amazing perspective, and it's something we already know from science, but to see it with your own eyes, wow.
Astronauts are set to return to Earth tomorrow night. Their Orion capsule is expected to splash down in the Pacific just off the coast of California shortly after 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Back on Earth, a visit to Hamilton Conservation Authority could be just what the doctor ordered. The authority has partnered with PARX, a nature prescription program started by BC Parks Foundation. Through PARX, doctors prescribe time in nature to improve physical and mental health. Research shows even a couple of hours outdoors a week supports better health outcomes. After filling out an online form, patients with a PARX prescription can now access a free 30-day membership pass to Hamilton Conservation Authority areas. It includes access to Dundas Valley, Christie Lake, 50 Point, and Valens Lake. Love that idea.
Well, it continues to be a season to forget for several reasons for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Here come the Capitals. A pass across score. Dylan Strome from Anthony Beauvillier. And it's the Capitals who strike first.
Dylan Strome opened the scoring in the first period, and Logan Thompson made 21 saves for his third shutout of the year as Washington blanked the Leafs 4-0. With the win, the Capitals sit 3 points behind Ottawa for the final wildcard spot in the NHL's Eastern Conference with 3 games left on their schedule. Anthony Stolarz suffered a lower body injury early in the first period after stopping the second of 2 shots he faced for Toronto. Forward Dakota Joshua and defenseman Brandon Carlo also left the game with injuries as Toronto suffered their 3rd loss in a row heading into tonight's game on Long Island. For the second straight game, Jason Zucker scored the game-winning goal for the Sabres, this time in a 5-3 win over the Rangers. Zach Benson scored twice for Buffalo, who jumped back into top spot in the Atlantic Division, 2 points up on Tampa Bay and Montreal. Connor McDavid, meantime, scoring his 15th career hat-trick to lead Edmonton to a 5-2 win over San Jose, pushing the Oilers into sole possession of first place in the Pacific Division. McDavid added 2 assists to extend his NHL-leading point total to 133, and now needs 3 goals in the final 3 games for his second career 50-goal season. San Jose's Macklin Celebrini scored his 42nd goal and has 108 points this season, the 3rd most for a teenager, behind Wayne Gretzky's 137 and Sidney Crosby's 120. The Brantford Bulldogs made quite the statement in the opening game of their second-round OHL playoff series against North Bay. Caleb Malhotra scored twice in Brantford's 5-goal first period, and the Bulldogs cruised to an 8-1 shellacking of the Battalion. Dogs captain Jake O'Brien also potted a pair, and Adam Jurczyk had a goal and 3 assists. Game 2 goes tomorrow night in Brantford.
Runner goes from first. The throw down, and it bounces away. And Schneider is in to score.
Well, the Blue Jays' 6-game losing streak has come to an end. Davis Schneider scored the winning run in the 8th inning on a throwing error from Dodgers catcher Will Smith as Toronto beat Los Angeles 4-3. Closer Jeff Hoffman worked a nervous 9th inning, giving up a hit and a walk before picking up his 2nd save of the season. The 5-7 Jays are off today. They host the Twins tomorrow. The 90th edition of the Masters, golf's first major of the year, tees off at 7:40 this morning at Augusta National in Georgia. After completing the career Grand Slam at Augusta last year, defending champion Rory McIlroy will begin his opening round at 10:31 this morning. There are 3 Canadians in the field. Nick Taylor starts his day at 9:31. 2003 champion Mike Weir begins his round at 11:27, and Corey Connors tees off at 12:44. Meantime, the annual Par 3 contest was held yesterday, providing a chance for family and friends of the PGA Tour pros to showcase their talent, or lack thereof, when it comes to comedian Kevin Hart, who didn't do so well on that shot. Keegan Bradley, though, got a hole-in-one for the 2nd year in a row, one of 4 players to record an ace yesterday. Aaron Rai won the Par 3 contest. Now, no player has ever won the Par 3 and then went on to claim the green jacket. Hamilton's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 20 points and 11 assists before sitting out the 4th quarter in OKC's 128-110 victory over the Clippers and clinching the #1 seed in the NBA playoffs.
Okay, away we go Thursday morning. What is this already? The 9th of April? It is. Yay, we're getting through. So what we have for today is some instability, but I'll talk about that in a sec. But mild. Oh, yeah, be prepared for that. Let's check traffic this morning, 403 on Waterdown Road. Hey, we're even starting to see a little bit of light in the sky there. That looks good. No problems on the roads. Let's check some MTO traffic cameras. We'll start in St. Catharines at Niagara Street. Looks good. Red Hill Creek, so Toronto-bound lanes away from us on that shot. No problems. Fairview Street, still doing okay. It'll slow down pretty quickly, though, a little later on. Dorval in Oakville, and then we'll flip ahead to Mississauga. Erin Mills Parkway, no problems right now. No no volume and no collisions to talk about. Let's talk about the temperature that we have at the moment. Temperature right now has really gone up overnight. As I said earlier, we were -1 with a wind chill of -5 at around midnight, but the temperature has gone up throughout the overnight, so 6 degrees right now. That wind is starting to pick up. It's south 22, gusting to 36 at the moment, and it is fairly cloudy right now. So for school today, we'll see some sun this morning, some sun, and then we'll see the cloud cover roll in, chance of showers, chance of thunderstorms, but 18 degrees for the high today, and that wind is going to pick up as well. So what we have is the warm sector of air here. The warm front's gone through to the north. The cold front is approaching. Cold front, that's just the leading edge of cooler air starting to sweep in. And that's what's going to trigger off the showers, possible thunderstorms today. Partly cloudy tonight, and then tomorrow rain could settle in for the day, and it will be cooler after the cold front. But today, nice and mild. We'll get to 16, 17, 18 degrees, sun to start, and then showers and thunderstorms later. Now tonight, it'll be partly cloudy. We could get some evening showers, but overnight, partly cloudy. 2 and 3 degrees tonight. Maybe some showers into Guelph and Kitchener moving in early from the west. And then tomorrow, clouds with some periods of rain, but cooler. Temperatures 8, 9, and 10 degrees for tomorrow. So that's still around seasonal. So after a really mild day like today, tomorrow's going to feel a little bit cooler. But out the door, 9th morning of April, it is fairly cloudy at the moment. The wind is picking up, and the temperature right now is mild at 6. And we'll check long range coming up. Annette, right.
Thanks, Brian. Coming up after the break here on Morning Live, thousands of federal public employees have opted to take early retirement. The details in a moment. 6:18 on your Thursday morning. Taking a look at the markets, the Canadian dollar dropping 5 basis points to 72.16 cents U.S. Gold is down $27 an ounce, and oil is up $3 to $97.42 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, the numbers are down across the board in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
A down day on Asian markets with Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Shanghai all down quite a bit, including some triple-digit losses. And a strong day on North American markets. At the close, the Dow posted gains of more than 1,300 points.
Thousands of federal public servants are taking advantage of Ottawa's early retirement offer. Roughly 3,700 federal workers have applied for the program that was first introduced in the fall. The Carney government has vowed to trim spending, and one of the paths it chose was to reduce the size of the federal workforce. Some 68,000 public servants have received notice that they may be eligible for the program.
Air Canada is launching a pilot project to resolve compensation claims more quickly. It's asking 500 randomly selected Air Canada passengers if they want their complaints referred to an independent arbitrator. This is to alleviate a record high backlog of 96,000 complaints that the Canadian Transportation Agency is dealing with. Now, it's not just dealing with Air Canada on this. Most of the claims deal with requests across the country for refunds or compensation after a flight is delayed or canceled.
Russians are expressing growing anger and frustration over the restrictions being imposed on the internet. The Kremlin has moved to shut down cell phone internet connections, block popular messaging apps, and cut access to thousands of other websites and digital services. The clampdown may be intended to control what websites Russians can see, but it has also thrown digital life into disarray. The restrictions have made it difficult to order taxis and deliveries, pay for goods and services electronically, and stay in touch with friends and family.
Meta has announced a new artificial intelligence model called Muse Spark. Meta has spent billions of dollars to catch up with competitors like OpenAI and Anthropic. The parent company of Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, and WhatsApp says Muse Spark scored better than Google Gemini on some tests and was competitive with other major AI models.
Time for a quick break. Brian is going to be back with a look on your commute to work and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
Okay, we're getting there. We've made it to Thursday morning. 6:24 is the time. Looking at our MTO traffic cameras, Ontario Street, St. Catharines, not a lot to see, and basically that's how it is. Starting to see some brake lights coming on. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge heading down toward North Shore. Normal this time in the morning. East of Burl Oak looks good. West of Winston Churchill. And then we'll flip to the 403 at Eglinton. Yeah, it's pretty light volume so far today. Just take it carefully, please. Look at the temperatures that we have to start the morning here. 6 degrees in Hamilton right now. Even better into Grimsby, sitting at 8, 3 Mississauga, 4 into Toronto. So we'll talk about seasonal temperatures for today. Seasonals are 10 for the daytime high, 0 for the overnight low. Actually, we got to -1 overnight, right around midnight last night, but we've really climbed nicely throughout the overnight hours. Those are our sun times. Sun comes up at 6:48 this morning, and records for today. Now, we will see some instability. That'll be later on this afternoon. We'll have some sunshine for the first bell. We should be 9 degrees by 9 o'clock this morning, and then 18 for after school. Bit of sun possible, but we're looking at chance of showers and thunderstorms, and that's how the day shapes up. There's that shower thunderstorm scenario later on today. 3 degrees tonight, so a little bit milder. We won't get down to -1 like we did last night. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler, but still, that's almost seasonal. 9 degrees, chance of rain during the day. Nice day on Saturday for National Pet Day. Should be sunny and 9. Now for the Around the Bay Road race, bit of a change in the forecast. Now it's a chance of showers. It's only a 30% chance of showers, but it'll be a mild day at 14. And the showers stick around for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Nice and mild Monday and Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Rick.
Thanks, Brian. A Tampa, Florida family got quite the wake-up call in the middle of the night late last month.
So they called police for what they thought was a human intruder. It was something much bigger. An alligator nearly 3 meters long had taken up temporary residence inside their house. The gator made its way out to the home's indoor pool, the lanai, hissing the entire time as a warning to stay away. A wildlife trapper was called, and with help from police, they pulled the gator into the pool, hoping that it would kind of burn off some of its energy. Eventually, they were able to tie up the animal and get it into the back of a pickup truck.
Wow, that's one job I could not do. Wrestling a gator.
And they're pretty busy. They say that in every body of water in Florida, there could be an alligator.
Wow.
You just don't expect it in your pool.
No.
In the lanai.
In the lanai.
In the
no.
lanai.
It's the last place you'd look. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live. I'm going to go to the lanai now.
We don't have one, sadly. It's too cold out in the lanai.
It's frozen.
See you later.